Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Tuesday, November 23rd. Starting with Barrick Gold here, and the reason for bringing this in here is that it could be at the beginning of a long-term trend, as I've mentioned before. So the good thing about this is that we're working with major trading level 2 here, the $20. So we're looking for a bit of a classic trading levels pattern here, where we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern, and then continuing to the upside. So it's looking like this: the arrival, the reaction, first high above the level, and we're nearly in the bottom of the A wave here. Then we'll have the B wave and the C wave here, and then we'll look for support, and then we'll go up. So I think that we're not quite at the beginning of the end of the A wave here, so we still got more time for this. But yeah, it's just got good possibilities for really long-term trend here, as you can see. But look, the risk in this situation is that we've only got 3 waves up here. So that could also mean that it's corrective as well in some way or another. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get lost, stick my head in the sand. So we're not going to buy until we can confirm that we are on that next trend to the upside. And that would mean that we need to take that top out, or we can take the top of the B wave out at that point. So still more work to be done here. We're waiting for it to pull back, and we've watched it roll over, and we'll just watch it continue. I won't go to the intraday yet because we've still got 5 odd days here before it firms up in the right way. Okay, so with Amazon here, we're looking at pretty much, I know this can be counted differently, but I just want to tie it into the NASI and so on, So as I mentioned, we've been looking for highs. And markets don't always finish off the way that you'd expect them to, because I mean, not always, but sometimes, because this move up here appears to be in 3 waves. So it looks like a top's in place, but there is a possibility for another move here as well before we come into this pullback in this space. Yeah, so we can also count wave 1 here and wave 2 here. That's also doable. So this wave 1 over to here. I could put these in a series of wave 1s and 2s to the upside here as well, because it looks quite sort of powerful. So I'm aware of that situation as well. Let's just go to the tick chart here. So my reasoning is that I've just tied this into the NASDAQ and Microsoft and so on. So from the low here, we counted up as 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, and looking back for 4. Yes, there is overlap there, so that is an issue. And then we're looking for 5 waves up here. Now I can get 5 waves out of it, but I have to squeeze it in here, and if you know me, I don't particularly like doing that. So yeah, I didn't get 5 waves from wave 4 to wave 5 here. So yeah, we need to look at this move here. We'll investigate that in a moment, but for our trades, we're looking to take profit up here. You may have taken some up here, I don't know. You may have gotten stopped out here, but this is where we are now. I don't know if we've got a top in place, so I'm just going to go from the 100 ticks. I want to understand that there a little better. So this is just the 10 tick chart here for this. So we can see from the top here we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll call all that part of that. So we can call all that the first leg down. And yeah, well, that's sharp for wave 2. That's sideways for wave 4. So we could look at this here as, well, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can look at all of that as the, so 1 and 2 here, and all the way down for 3, 4, and 5 here. So that means that we don't have 5 waves down for a top in place yet. That's what I'm thinking about. So that's the 38.2%. So if we get another wave down, like I don't know if we will, we could just continue to go up from that point because we've got 3 waves here. If we get a new low here, then you know that we've got 5 waves in play at that point, and then we'll have an ABC pattern, and then we'll go, probably not that high, but then we'll go down again from that point. So the question is here, do we have a top in play at this point? There would seem to be a good case for it because the market has pulled down strongly, but I don't have 5 waves, so we have to wait for 5 waves, because in this instance we could just go straight up and complete that one more move to the upside. So that in mind, we'll go back to the 100 ticks here. So this wave 4 has overlapped wave 1, but like I mentioned, it's a little bit tricky to get 5 waves in here. We've only got 3 waves down here so far. So if we have a rally to the 38.2% retracement level and then another move down, then you know that we've got a top in play, and then we can call that wave A here, and then we'll look for wave B and then wave C. I'll have to check where that 61.8% retracement level is there, but something like that, okay? But I don't know that yet. The situation here is that this can have one more high to come into play, and then we come down. So that's the gist of all of this. Yeah, I mean, we've been looking for highs. It's just not finished off properly. Yeah, well, that's that. What's the name? Alphabet here. We were counting 5 waves up here. This is the daily chart. We don't normally look at the daily chart that much, but wave 4, we looked up as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 1, coming back for wave 2. So we've been looking at this on the 100 tick chart, and also to finish off here, we're looking for, it's all pretty sort of tight in here. So yeah, and then we were looking at the 10 tick chart. That's where it had the count finishing off at that point. So from wave 4 we had 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 there. So yeah, well, that's sort of and in this case there's probably a bit of a case for, I have to pull that apart a bit more. I think I've got to mull that over a little bit more, but in this case there's a good chance the top can be in place. Well, I would say that it's in place, okay? So I think that's sort of interesting. So we could go back to the daily chart here for a moment and say that with reasonable confidence, Google Alphabet is one of the stocks that can have a top in play. Amazon may or may not, because it just didn't quite confirm the way that I wanted to. So yeah, anyway, that's Google. So yesterday, we've been looking for tops for a little while now. Apple here, I've got this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming up here, so we're looking for 5 waves up here. It's very strong in the 5th wave, isn't it? I mean, it really looks like a 3rd wave here. It really looks like I've got this count wrong, but what we'll do anyway is, the way we'll handle it is that in this leg to the upside, we'll continue counting our 5 waves. Once we get to the top there, well, after 5 waves, we're going to have a correction anyway. So we could go, once we confirm the top in play, we can look to go long above that. We could look for any type of pullback, because it may not pull all the way back to the 50-60% retracement level. It might, if I've got the count wrong, like in this case, it can pull back here somewhere. I'll just put that in there. We need to start talking about targets now on the downside. So if I've got this wrong and it only pulls back 38.2%, well, then we need to be ready to trade that long further to the upside. So let's go to the intraday, which is the tick chart for me. So in this case, if I can just bring in a bit more data. So it's been a bit of a long haul in this little move to the upside. We're bought at the bottom here, and we've bought here, and we've been moving our stop up, and we've took. I think my little percentage thing got moved from yesterday, so I don't know exactly where that was here, but it would either been at the top of Group 1 or up here for that, or could have even been down here. I'm not quite sure, but it don't matter. The 165 was our target, which is the 165 is the lower end of Group 2. So Group 2 in this case is a little bit larger. It kind of incorporates, if I can just copy that for a moment, it incorporates 180, 172 and 165. There's other important numbers in there, but anyway, that was one of the ones that we're looking for. In this case, we don't really have a nice impulse wave down here. It could develop into that, but it was also in line with our count for another little move to the upside to finish that off. But you should have taken profit at 165, so we don't need to be worry about this now too much. We'll be close to a top. I can see that it still wants to... I mean, you could count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I could see, which would be wave 1 and 2 and 3 here, and this looks a bit corrective. If that top doesn't stay in play and this moves into a low here, then we'll start looking at this being an A wave over here for this. But the way it stands at the moment, there can be still another move to the upside. So yeah, look, we've done our job here for the time being. All tops in the market are quite close, basically speaking. We'll either have one more top or we got tops in. It's something like that, you know. So we're doing all the right things at the right time, even though we don't know the future. Even if this, I don't think we need to worry about missing too much, because even if there is another move to the upside here, then we're just going to see this is a classic trading levels pattern happening here, the arrival, the reaction, first high above the level, an ABC pattern. So we can just go long over here if we wanted to. And we would be in Group 2 there, so that would be healthy. So, yeah. Let's just see what we get in this particular space. Square, PayPal and Shopify all got hammered down a lot. It's kind of interesting, really, because I don't know the dichotomy between the like Square, PayPal, and Shopify. Those ones, they're all down 5 or 7%, where the banks were up about 3%. So I know we can group them together, but I don't know why as such yet. I haven't thought deeply about their differences. You know, they're all after the same client to a point. Anyway, let's just waffle. Well, for Square here, you may know that we've been looking down from this top here. We've been counting down as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and now we're in the fifth wave here. So with the fifth wave, we've got 1 and 2 and little 5 waves for 1 and 2, and nice strong third wave, fourth wave and fifth wave for the third, the fourth and the fifth. So it's kind of interesting here. The other markets will be going into corrective moves where these types of products, markets, companies, whatever, are in a slightly different cycle. So they could be kind of interesting for the first ones out of the gate to the upside. So we'll keep an eye on that. I don't know if these can extend down any further than this. I'll give that some thought. I mean, it's a pretty big fifth wave compared to the wave 1 here, but at the same time, I was looking for a move to come down, you know, below into the 200 here. So I've got what I wanted. It's just a matter of yeah, we just need to confirm the turn. That's all. Anyway, we'll get there with that. And Facebook, I think it changes its name in December, doesn't it? I'm not quite up to date. I don't follow the news too much. I'm always behind the news, really. So I don't know when it's changing, but my code here on this platform is still FB and not Meta. Anyway, I think it was in December they were going to change that, wasn't they? I don't know. Anyway. So this one's always complicated me a little bit, which is confused me, which is not hard to do, I have to say. But I know that we've got 5 waves to that point. So to look at this as the A wave, and then an A, B, and C here is a little bit small. We could put the A wave over here and have the B wave here as an A and a B and a C wave here. That would make sense as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were looking at that, and so that B wave could go there. We could also look at this here as an ABC here for the wave 4 to be in play here, and we can look at this as wave 1 here coming back to wave 2 here. So there's a couple of things here that I've been chatting about lately, is that we can, once we finish off here, which I think we have, then we can come back to the 50-60%. There's going to be support here anyway, so we're not going to understand it as soon as it arrives, but it would be interesting to see its pattern at that particular point. And so it can turn and move up from there. And secondly, we may also get a larger 5 waves down here as well. So I basically don't know. We've reached our target. I've exhausted all the wave counts to that particular point. So we're in our box. We've had our lot. We just need to see what happens now, really, I think. So the last time we spoke, we were looking for, and I should just put that as wave 1 there as well, because I don't know the answer to that. Okay, so this is a little bit complicated, all of this, but and there's different ways to count this. This could be wave 3, 4, and 5 to this point as well. But it doesn't really matter what we've been looking for yesterday and so on. I think we were down here yesterday, weren't we? And we were looking for one more move to the upside. So we've got that nice little impulse wave to the upside, and that makes that 5 waves now. So yeah, we can look to go down basically, I think, here. I don't see any reason. It does appear that this is in 5. I don't have a problem with an impulse wave here. So that would mean that we can come back to, where are we? There. One, two, three, four, 5. That looks a bit impulsive, doesn't it? It looks like it wants to sort of do something like that. If that's the case, what it does do, it leaves that second low there to be had. But if you miss that and the market drops below this low, then you need to be short at that point. And it's, obviously when it gets to this low here, there's going to be a bounce at that point, and that's always safer to cruise over to the closest largest number, and that would be the 40. So when you start doing things like that, then you can start to understand a move down here to these lows. It may be before the low, before 340 or on 340, but there will be a bounce there. So that bounce is something that you could also look to short rather than doing it right on that point, because there will be a classic trading levels pattern sitting here for this, and that will eventually become the resistance. And then you can look to add, under these lows as well. So you can build it in if you were looking at the short side. That's all I'm saying. But just understand that, number one, you're trading against the trend. But to counteract that, we do have a nice impulse wave here. So based on that impulse wave, and it's not like that's in 3 waves or anything, so, and that's finished off nicely here. There's no confusion here. So because we got 5 here, that means after correction we can get another 5 here. So this is really just for day traders in a way, short-term traders. Okay, well that's Facebook. And Tesla here, it's gone. I was counting. There's there's two ways I could look at this, as you may know. From the top here to that low here, that's 5 waves. So we can count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or we could count it down as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for wave 4, and then we go up to wave 5. We have moved past the box here for this. Obviously there's a little gap here. It's the old highs at 1200, because even though it goes higher, we still always need to gravitate to the closest largest number. That's what you should be working with, rather than the other ones are important, like the exact top is important. All of these, all the subtleties are important, and that's what makes up a successful move decision. But at the same time, we're still open to wave 4 being complicated, more so like this, but it has already pulled back to its 38.2% retracement level here as well, which I think was a bit closer to the 1000. So there's a good opportunity that we can push up through here. Let's just check on that. So yeah, from the top here, we looked at 1 and 2 here in green, and then 1, 2, all the way down with 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, 4th, and 5th for the third. Then the 4th here, that's a 38.2% retracement level, so it's certainly within its bounds. And then 5 waves down here. So we could look at it as 5 waves, and in that case we should get a move back to the 61.8% and drop. And then the other move was that we looked at this here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave down here for wave 4 to be in place here. And then we just continue to cruise up. So yesterday we did expand this out because we had 5 waves here, which could have been the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. And realistically, that should have been about it at that point, as a corrective rally. A little bit small compared to this leg, I understand that. The other point, we could look at this as the A wave here. I don't like the B wave here. That just doesn't add up for me, I'm afraid. So that's basically sort of where we're at. And then I was looking at this here as yesterday we were looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and the third wave here, which is okay. That's actually a bit longer than wave 1, not by much though, I have to say. So wave 3 and 4 here, and then if I put wave 4 here on this low, which I could put it over here, but it doesn't, I don't know, it's all a little bit messy, that there. Probably, but anyway, I was looking at that as 1 and 2 yesterday, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for, and it popped up for wave 3, and I'm still not finished yet, so there still can be another little wave to the upside here. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, so it looks like 3, 4, and 5 to finish off that structure to the upside. But the thing about that though is that now I've got 5 waves up there, which is fine. And the other point, I need to make as well, we haven't quite made it at above the top here just yet. So the next question is where I've got wave 1 here, can I put blue wave 1 here and blue wave 2 here, and blue wave 3, 4, and 5 up there and call that wave 5? Or do I need to look at all of that as wave 1 up there? I need to mull this over a little bit further. But in the short term, That looks like it's 1, 2. Oh no, that's 1, 2, 3. That could be corrective. I need to pull that apart for that point. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's just an ABC to that point. So I'll just put that in there at this point. That's the 38.2% here. So we really don't want to see it going any lower than it is here. So if this drops below this low here, which is, you know, in between the 40 and the 50% roughly, oh well, pretty roughly, you know, if we get a move through that, then there's an issue at that point for this. I mean, then it would be wave C. If it can hold here, then it's wave 4. But that looks like, that looks pretty impulsive to the downside, doesn't it? Okay, anyway, we'll run with, I mean, it looks like an ABC here. I'll just have a look to see if we can see inside it. It's all the same family of things there. It looks like 5 waves. It looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. They can all be 5 waves to that point in here. That all looks like part of the same family. It's like it's different from this family, you know. So it looks like it's all the same family. So that can be an ABC pattern there. I'll delete that because... And then what about over here? Can I go back over here? So that's 1 and 2. That looks like a B wave in there, doesn't it? That's a bit of a tricky one there. There's 5 waves to that point. Well, I suppose we've got to look at that as 5 waves then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that could actually pull back lower in this case. We can give that a bit more credibility. So we can get, oh whoops, what have I done there? So that means that this can come down to here and then go up from that point. So I'll take back what I said at that point. Okay, well I'll just stay with that then. I'll just treat that as a wave 4, and I'll just remove these, and that's okay at that point. So we can drop here back a bit further before pushing up, but it'll be something like this. Okay, let's cruise along to Microsoft. So we've got that reversal bar there on high volume. That's always a good indication that that we're at the top of a market. So we may have this in place. I can't remember. I'll go in and check in a moment. But let's just assume that it is for a moment. We'll check on that and tick. Okay, so that's about right. Will it pull back to the 50, 60%? I don't know. You know, it's just something that we need to something we need to work through. Let's go to well, yesterday we were let's talk about the trades for a moment. So we've got positions all the way through here, and I think we took percentage in here twice somewhere, didn't we? I can't remember. But our aim was to take it at the 350, so hopefully that that you've done that, and we're out of we're out of this trade. But also to wave 3 here in terms of Elliott, wave 3, wave 4, and then going up for wave 5 here for this. I think I'm okay with this. I mean, obviously, if I've made a mistake, that wave 4 is too small, and if I've made something in here, in fact, that needs to go over there. So if I've made a mistake here, it means the mistake I've made is that wave 4 is sitting here, but I have to say that looks kind of impulsive at that point. It doesn't matter. I think we just, you know, we've done our job. We've made money out of this, and apologies if there is another high here, but we're close to where we need to be at this point, you know, in terms of looking for a top. Is there any other way? I mean, I did have, was possible to put wave 1 there. Where would that leave us? At wave 2 here, and then 3, and then 4. It just doesn't match up, does it? I'll have to look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where that third would come in. Okay, well, it's possible. So we could look at, I'm just shooting the breeze here, really. So we could look at that as 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave up here, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. So I think it's important that we look at these things because, you know, it's not that it's not that I want to call a trade in on this, because it might just rally 50% and then move down from that point. Let me just have a look in here for this. Video's a little bit long, but yeah, it can work as an ABC pattern unless it has another drop here, because we've got this wave 1 in here, and we've got this leg, and this leg. So it can be an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we get another move down, then it will be 5 waves if it moved. So it can be wave 4 as long as that low's not breached. Okay, if that low is breached, then we've got 5 waves at that point. Okay, so yeah, there can be another little move up in that case. So just coming back to here, moment. So there could be another move up to the upside here for Microsoft. I haven't looked at the S&P and the NASI just yet either, but we'll be in the same boat somewhere with them. I haven't looked at the intraday or looked at their counts. I woke up and just started to look at the stock. So anyway, I'll check with the indices and see how they're doing. We'll get some sort of idea. But just to rehash this a little bit, in a way, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Our target was the 350. We've traded up to that. We've exited. I could have made a mistake, and there can be another high here. We were looking for tops this week, mid this week, so we're kind of getting there. We're kind of seeing things like this. This was my sort of template for the move up. Yeah, I think we'll just have to chill for a bit, and let's just see if we get one more move up and then the move down, or we can just get a small rally and start on the move down here, the corrective move. I'm not quite sure, but let's just see what comes out. Let's just see. We need to gather more information now anyway. So nothing to do for a couple of sessions. We just need to look at sort of what happens. But we're pretty close to all of this. attempting to put the third wave up there, but I'll double check on that later. But okay, well, there we go. I'll leave it at that. Cheers.